Okay, we ready? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. We have a pretty cool episode today, but before we do that, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been listening. This podcast was started with an idea just to have fun and interview commercial real estate people and people outside, people adjacent, and it's been more successful than we thought it would be. And that's because of all of you that actually listen to it. So I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you, and this is awesome, and we're having a fun time, which is probably why you like the content, because we're having as much fun as anybody else. So today, we are actually going to try a totally different format to what we've been doing before. We have a new segment we're experimenting with, and it's called, well, actually, we don't know what it's called.
Chopping it up.
Chopping it up.
Something like
we might
that.
go with broker talk. We might go with commission accomplished, or we might go with
Commission Impossible.
commission impossible, which is more likely.
I like that one.
So we've got on this podcast, whatever the name is, Troy Hardy, who's a returning guest. It's a beautiful man.
I guess.
Jake Woodward.
Hey, it's my first time, guys. Glad to be here.
So Troy has previously introduced himself, but I'd love to give him the floor to reintroduce himself.
I think we're good. I
right.
mean, yeah, I think everybody knows.
I mean, if anyone's
they know
listening-
enough.
I would
Yeah.
love to introduce him.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
let's pass on that.
Troy's an absolute legend.
Yeah,
you
go
know?
ahead. Introduce
The
yourself,
legend of
Jake.
Troy.
Yeah, no, I'm Jake Woodward. I'm actually new to the Newmark Mountain West family as of January 1, and it's been awesome. So again, I think people listening to this pod probably know who I am too. I've been around for the better part of 2 decades in the business, and yeah, so it's good. I do have to give a little disclaimer though. I'm a little foggy today because last night I was
It's a long night.
long night. Got home at 2:30 in the morning because I was acting as a blackjack dealer for a high school graduation party. So yeah, it was good. And you know, after
How much
doing
money
that,
did you take home?
I didn't take home anything, and I had to remind them you got to tip your dealer, right? They're too young; they don't understand. But yeah, after I, spent a couple hours doing that, listening to like blaring rap music, and I got home and I was just buzzing, man. I was like baked. So long night,
all right.
night. But I'm glad to be here.
That's all right. Glad to know that we have 50% Jake with us today.
Well, I did crush a monster, so which I don't do
50%.
normally, and
Yeah,
it was great.
50% Jake is more than 100% of most people.
That's true.
I don't know.
So it's probably better that we have him.
I'm trying to figure out right now, like we're standing in June 1st almost here, and we're almost halfway through the year. And I feel like brokers and people in commercial real estate are complaining, which is totally normal. That's what we do best. But pipeline is tough right now. Feels a little dry. I feel like we started out the year, last year was phenomenal. Was a pretty good for most people.
Good year.
Beginning of this year started out super strong in January. Felt great about this year. And then Trump decided to not invade, but to start a war with Iran. And interest rates obviously exploded. And there's a million other factors too. But I think most of us in commercial real estate and in real estate are feeling a little bit of a slacked pipeline. I feel like it's getting better, but have you guys experienced that, or am I just imagining these things?
I think I've said this, but I sit next to Scott Brady, so I haven't noticed any
a bubble,
slowdown at
so
all.
there's no slowdown.
It seems
Yeah.
like the deactivity just keeps coming. No, there's definitely a little bit of a weird pause taking place right now. I hope that we're not that that roller coaster at the very top of that first drop, where some people are still looking up, other people are already looking down, and you just I don't want to feel that feeling ever again. But I do agree with you though. I think
That's an interesting metaphor though, because like a lot of why I'm saying that is because not only people here in Utah and the Mountain West area are complaining, but as a general rule, I've always found that we lag behind most primary markets.
Mm-hmm.
Utah's a secondary market for most people, high secondary, we could probably say.
High secondary, I'd say now.
But, LA, New York, Miami, whatever, they have experienced a pretty significant dry pipeline. And Utah's insulated for the most part from a lot of those ups and downs, but we're still feeling it. And so to your metaphor, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just glad to hear that it's not just me. Like you introducing that topic, I was like, geez, I've got like imposter syndrome, being here, looking at the amount of like business that people are working on, and things are tight. They definitely are tight. So I'm glad to hear it's not just me, this like, underperformer as a broker, but, because coming off of last year was great. And then this year, for whatever reason, and this is the way I've explained it too, is that most retailers are still very interested in Utah. Utah is on the map for most retailers. But, I mean, we've all probably been on lots of tours this year. We're showing lots of space, and they're not killing deals. They're not like turning their back on deals. Mm-hmm. They're just not getting them through committee, or mm-hmm. they're going back through committee a second and a third time and like revising. And I think, I represent a handful of like publicly traded companies, and they have to be very careful because they got to say to the market, we're a growth company. If they say like, hey, we're pulling back, their stock's going to hit,
not
right?
Great. Not great.
It'll take a hit on the stock. So a lot of them are saying like, we're still a growth company publicly, but to us, they're saying like, these are really hard to get done right now. Like we're slow playing it or whatever. So it's been really challenging. Although I'm optimistic, I'm starting to see a little bit of an uptick. The first part of this year has been dismally slow.
Well, I actually want to talk about what you just said relative to retailers, but to finish on the dry pipeline, the funny thing is like as a company, we're on track to do 2,000 transactions or whatever. I put a post out on X a couple of weeks ago that described where we are and our numbers, and they're, for us and really the market, they're record breaking. They're huge numbers. We're doing a ton of volume, but still you can feel that on the ground talking to everybody, like deals are a little harder.
For sure.
Pipeline's a little drier. However, I do think the last couple of weeks have swung back hard, and I feel like transactions are happening at a higher volume and velocity now. So I'm optimistic, but you have to be optimistic to be a broker, I think.
No doubt.
There, when people talk about seasonality in residential real estate, how there are these certain times of the year when homes are selling and they're not selling, and there's really no seasonality in commercial real estate. However, there is seasonality when it comes to brokers, right? And so you talk about how there's activity right now.
That's so funny.
Part of that activity is knowing that when you're doing a deal, there's someone on the other side of that phone or the other side of that email, and we are approaching what I've experienced to be like the slowest time of year. Right?
Tell me what that is.
I know what it is. Summer vacation.
It is summer vacation.
I call it the summer doldrums.
The summer doldrums. Yeah, I mean it's as good as things might be for a minute here. I do see these are challenging times to get deals moved.
Why is that? Why do we have summer? Why do brokers? I mean, like I get people go on vacation and stuff, but why every single year do some brokers just say, I'm out for a couple of months?
I suffer from this problem here where it doesn't matter where I am. I have to work. I feel like if I'm not responding to that email, then the deal's not going to happen, right? Time kills deals. So you've got to continue to push. So I don't know why it is that some people feel really comfortable. Like there are a lot of brokers who have no problem, saying, hey, I'm out for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. Not pointing any fingers, but
I think he's pointing his finger at me right now because I've been gone for the last 2 weeks.
Actually, pointing a pen.
Oh, pen.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer really because it doesn't make sense. I mean, we can work from wherever we are, right?
Yeah,
we can, but I think a lot of the folks we deal with are 9-to-5 guys that have allocated vacation time, right?
Sure.
And so
our clients,
yeah, for that's what I meant. So when they have vacation time, and vacation time is sacred to those people, like the people that I work with. And so when they go on vacation, it's like their cell phone shut down, their emails are down. And the problem is when we're working on deals, you've got 3 or 4 people that touch that deal, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So trying to get all of them in the room at the same time, odds are someone in the chain is going to be on vacation during the summer. Yeah. So things just naturally will slow down.
Or that real estate committee meeting gets postponed because so-and-so's out of town. And just kind of.
You know what the number one complaint is of brokers? Like across the board, number one complaint.
The air conditioning upstairs.
Clients or people in the industry say about brokers. The number one complaint.
Communication.
They don't return a call.
Yeah.
The lowest possible thing.
Yeah.
They don't return a call. That's the bar. So if you're young and you're at, a university and you're in an MRED program and you want to be a broker, all you need to be is a hard worker who's responsive. And we have a ton of young people here, which is awesome to see. I mean, that is it. That is the entry level. If you do that, that is 50%.
Yeah, it's
of
the little
being
things.
a successful person in general.
No doubt. And it's funny because I've talked at the U, for example, in a lab up there and at a couple of other venues, and they've said, like, what is it? What's kind of that secret sauce? And it is really funny because you can point to like really, really good brokers. We have a ton of amazing talent here, and we poke fun at Scott Brady, but there are times when I know, like a couple of years ago, like if I woke up in the middle of the night for some reason, my brain starts going, and I would send a text or send an email, I'd get a response back from Scott within 5 minutes at 2:30 in the morning.
Response. Yeah, it's computer generated.
No, his were real. His were real. But it is amazing that he kind of broke his day up in weird working segments. But that guy's interesting. Like, we could probably send him a text right now while we're on the pod, and I guarantee he'd respond. Probably within 5 minutes.
We're going to do this right. You guys keep talking.
Yeah. So we'll keep going. But
there's a saying that I think is right on what you're referring to, which is the busiest humans I know in my life, the most successful people, busiest humans, they are the most responsive.
Yeah.
Paradoxically.
And you can look at a guy like Andy Moffat, Lance Pendleton, same thing. I mean, those guys will respond so quickly. Preston, they just don't let things slide. So that is very true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Awesome. Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to hit was kind of what you were saying earlier about retailers. I think there's projected to be 8,000 national retail closures this year. So significant closures, restaurants. The sales of national restaurants are, for the most part, either flatlining or in some cases they're decreasing. So it just feels like we're seeing a little bit of buyer fatigue, shopper fatigue, economy fatigue. There's the K-shaped economy. There's just a lot of things happening right now. And then you have this weird juxtaposition where Texas Roadhouse, for example, is just absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
We did a study recently and showed the top restaurants in Utah by sales, like overall sales. Texas Roadhouse and visits, I think it was visits and sales. Texas Roadhouse was like 4 of the top 10 restaurants in Utah.
No way.
I will be at Texas Roadhouse as soon as we wrap this podcast, because that's where my graduated son wants to eat dinner tonight, right? I mean, it's no surprise. It's Applebee's on steroids. The bread's warm.
Yeah.
The butter's delicious. How can you go wrong?
And I might be catching you off guard on this, but and people who know me, I've kind of gone on this rant that Red Lobster's back. And I'm serious. Like, have you been to Red Lobster? When's the last time you went to Red Lobster?
Jake, I'm not a Red Lobster
Red
guy.
Lobster's not back, bro.
No, here's the deal. And I can speak to this because I had this funny experience where I dropped my wife off at a restaurant. And where she was meeting her friends. And I was like, dropped her off. She was having dinner with her friends. And I turned around. I'm like, I want a steak so bad. But I probably shouldn't stay at this restaurant because her friends are there. So I'm like, where could I get a steak? I was in the Sugar House area. No joke. I go to Red Lobster.
I didn't even know they had steak.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with
joke.
you right now.
Stop the pod now.
I swear. So
Jake
here's the
had
deal.
a solo dinner at Red Lobster.
Well, you have to understand too, I'm a pure product of the 90s.
All
Everything
right.
I do is through the paradigm of like the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I roll into Red Lobster. I hadn't been there in a long time, but I sit down at the bar by myself. I order a steak, and the steak comes out perfectly cooked. I swear to you, perfectly cooked. The
Did you
vegetables
pick it out of the
perfect.
tank?
No. Well,
Okay.
if had I done the lobster, I probably would have.
Okay.
But the steak comes out perfectly cooked. The mashed potatoes were hot. Okay, you know what it's like to get food when it's like you can tell it's been sitting whatever. It comes out like perfectly prepared. So I eat it, and I'm like, this experience was awesome.
And it was
like
$9.99, as he's about to tell us.
It was awesome. It was a great experience.
You can eat shrimp.
So the funny thing is, I started like kind of like Googling Red Lobster. Well, they have a brand new CEO. He's this young guy, and he is on a mission. He's like, listen, we have tons of brand equity, but I promise you, your food is going to taste good. It's going to be hot. You'll have awesome customer experience. And no joke, so I get on the thread of like Red Lobster's Instagram, and there's tons of people that are like, it's back. It's back.
He takes a selfie of himself.
I was
in a
like,
Red
yes,
Lobster.
I'm onto something.
I think you may be onto something. I do want to remind all the Red Lobster fans out there, though, that this can turn very quickly. Because 2 years ago, Chili's was the darling of this segment.
Are you going to say you don't like Chili's?
Who doesn't like Chili's?
Because
no one doesn't like Chili's.
I went to Chili's for the first time in a little
Chocolate
bit,
molten
like a
lava
couple
cake.
months ago. It was great.
It was great.
Had a great meal.
So
And it's
we
inexpensive, surprisingly.
I have a Chili's in a center here in Salt Lake. And last time they were up for renewal, which was 5 years ago, they said, hey, we can barely make sense of this. Paper costs are up. All our food's, going through Uber Eats or Postmates, whatever. Margins are really tight. But they agreed to sign the extension. And about a year into this extension, their sales just skyrocketed. And everywhere you looked, people were talking about how phenomenally on top of things Chili's was. Well, they're now closed at that location. So
did sales
they had
dip again,
their little moment in time, at least as it relates to this space, right? They may still be doing well everywhere else, but something happened here where and we can talk about this more on this pod or another pod, but we're dealing with a world where landlords are now pushing rents to the brink, right? Like these retailers,
gosh,
these
no
restaurants, whether you're QSR, fast food, or just a small family-owned restaurant, you can no longer do the sales volume to justify the rents.
Yeah.
And
Same with retailers.
Same with retailers,
no question.
exactly. And that's what ultimately, caused this Chili's to close. Is there are other, in this case it's a bank, but there are other retailers standing in line for high profile space like this, and they can pay the rent.
I think when I started 27 years ago, I was doing deals at $12 a square foot, triple net. I think my first deal was a Little Caesars.
Triple nets were $2.
I was $1.50.
$1.50.
And I thought to myself, like, what would be the point at which Little Caesars or a retailer or a restaurant literally can't pay the rent? And we went through 15, we went through $20 a square foot, we went through 25, then 30, then we broke 40, 50. Now we're breaking 60, and we have, in my opinion, found
We found the spot.
the ceiling.
Yeah, for sure.
We know.
It feels that way.
I mean, I can speak to that today. I had my call with Starbucks today, and we're looking at a trade area in Utah County, and I said, listen, there's two available sites. One would be a remodel of an existing building. The rent's going to be a lot cheaper. The new one would be a ground up build to suit. The problem is the developer who's buying it is buying it for $37 a foot,
Right.
unimproved. Okay. So a $37 land value with construction costs the way they are, borrowing costs the way they are, those three components right there, he's going to turn around and tell us that our rent needs to be probably $80 a foot.
I was going to say 80 or 90, yeah.
And Starbucks has hit their limit because their pro forma saying that thing's red.
Yeah.
We can't do it.
You can
We
only
need the pro
pump so
forma to be
many
green.
pink drinks out the door.
Totally. And by the way, anecdotally, I mean, their sales are up.
Yeah.
Finally, they turned a corner. This new CEO from Chipotle is doing a great job, and we're seeing sales in Utah across the board hitting levels that we've never hit. So it's good, but there is that limit. They're just saying we can't do this. We can't keep paying those rents.
I agree with you 100%. Why is Starbucks seeing such great success in Utah?
Gosh, I could answer that a couple of different ways. I'd love to say it's because site selection has been superb.
Incredible.
It's all
superior.
Jake.
Unlike anything anyone's ever seen. The site selection.
They've doubled
their
your
brokers
commissions. Yeah. Can we pay you 12%?
Yeah. Actually, there is a little bit of truth to that because Starbucks for a long time with the culture here in Utah, in the Mormon church, they were not a believer in the market. And then we had a store development manager several years ago who came in and said, listen, I think we can't be afraid to go after the right real estate, which means we got to step up and pay. And I think if we land in the right real estate, the sales will come. Mm-hmm. And we proved that out maybe 12, 13, 14 years ago. And so now we do compete. We try to go after the best real estate, and the sales, follow. So,
And there's more coffee competition than there's ever been in Utah.
no doubt.
And so I think you're right there. I think you're seeing more net new customers than ever before in Utah for, whatever reasons that we don't aren't qualified to touch on in this podcast.
Yeah, probably not. Should probably stay away from that.
What occupancy cost is Starbucks comfortable with when they look at sales?
You know, they're very similar to everybody else. I mean, if we can stay around 8%, that's a good deal. You know, we will flirt with 12% for the right deal, but when you start getting, you know, above 10%, that P&L is not going to look good. Our pro forma is not going to look good. It's really tough to comp, you know, so yeah, I mean, if we can get there at 8%, that's good.
That's what scares me is I think a lot of concepts are, you know, whether it's private equity or for some other reason, they feel like they've got to continue to grow. And so they decide, okay, well, the deals are more expensive now. So we'll just have to adjust, you know, our comfort level, right? So then you start seeing these retailers move their occupancy cost to 10, 12, 14% of gross sales. And if there's any dip at all,
Just wiped out.
doors are closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for every percentage point of gross occupancy cost that they add, that's a subtraction of profit.
Right.
Right.
And that's the problem. So, and everything is so expensive, as we know.
Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly what I was
there's
just
too
gonna
many
say.
elements that are just on their P&L. Man, labor costs, you know, cost of goods, everything is up.
Right.
Everything's up.
Right.
So
And it's getting for the most part passed on to the consumer, and that's just where we are. That's the fatigue point that we're at right now. When I go to Chipotle, which traditionally I'm a huge Chipotle lover, and my son is too. We went there and it was like $5, then it was $8, then it was $12, and I went there over the weekend and it was like $17 or $18, and it's the same size, maybe even smaller portions.
yeah.
And that's just the runaway inflation and the deal costs and the occupancy costs and the food costs. Everything is hitting at the same time. Retailers are fatigued, restaurants are fatigued, consumers are fatigued, and we're stuck in a K economy right now where some people don't care and they just
Doesn't
keep
matter.
buying it, and the vast majority of us just can't afford it, literally cannot afford it anymore.
Did
Yeah.
you see that article that said you can ask for more meat?
No. Can we?
I think there's backlash. I think people are going to Chipotle, seeing smaller sizes or smaller like, you know, meat.
I could just be like, run that back.
And
I need more
they're
meat.
saying you can just ask for more.
Well,
I don't
okay,
know.
I'll
I've
try
never
it.
done it.
I'll try it.
Try it.
I'm going to try it. I'll
The
report back.
portions are smaller, but you can ask for more. Now they may look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, like
but
how
you
dare
can
you
ask
steal
for
money
more.
from us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
I know that you warned me about like using names, so if we have to edit this out, I will. But you know where we don't see a lot of value anymore is at Taco Bell. Have you guys gone through Taco Bell at all lately?
I can honestly say I have not.
Okay, well, I have a daughter. Unfortunately, sad to admit it. She loves Taco Bell. It's like her guilty pleasure. So
Heck yeah, I mean, Taco Bell's good.
heck yeah, again,
Not gonna
product
lie.
of the 90s. We love it. So
For a
but-
restaurant without a kitchen, they are crushing it.
But the funny thing is, you said like a $17 lunch at Chipotle.
Yeah.
It's almost the same at
Yeah,
Taco
that's-
Bell now.
Is it really?
I swear,
Wildness.
it's wild. So
Guys, that's why In-N-Out Burger is the greatest burger in the world.
and Costco,
I think they actually just,
the $1.50 lunch, man.
I think In-N-Out just raised their price here in Utah. It was $7.75 for the number one combo. Now I think it's like $9 or something, but still.
Yeah, but to try to find a lunch under $10,
Yeah, it's the greatest value
it's
in
tough.
the world.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when B. Russ and Michael Jordan played one-on-one at UVU?
Yeah, that was one of the
That
greatest.
was incredible, right?
That was one of the greatest
Wait, I thought
performances
Home
of all
Skillet
time.
didn't show up.
What was that, like 2005 or something?
It's not important. Yes, I think it was around that time.
Yes.
And do you remember the person who was responsible for
do.
coordinating that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So that individual also had plans for a 450-foot Frank Gehry design.
At Traverse Mountain.
Yes.
At the time it was.
Are we
was
saying
it called
his name?
Traverse? What was it?
Brant Anderson.
Yeah.
Brant
So-
Anderson.
so-
Yeah.
And in front of this hotel was going to be a wakeboard park.
Wakeboard
Yes,
Park.
I remember that.
And do you like that was the coolest idea? I mean, I don't think anyone thought it was actually going to happen, other than maybe Brant
I mean, I thought
and
it was
maybe
cool.
Frank Gehry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
As long as the checks started clearing, he was there.
every time I drive down I-15 and I see that vacant plot,
You
I
lament
think
at what could have been.
no, it could still happen.
It could
is
still
what I'm
happen.
saying.
Well, here's my question. Who owns that? Does Brant own it?
I don't know if he
just
ever
traded
owned
hands.
it.
Remember, they had like renderings
traded
of
hands.
the building.
Yes.
They had renderings
Yeah.
of the
It was
building, and
sick.
it was supposed to be the tallest building in the state of Utah.
The Burj Khalifa of Utah County.
I think
Yes.
I think it's owned by XDev now. Yeah.
All right, well then they're
Oh,
gonna,
really?
Yeah.
they need to figure this
those
out.
guys are
I
big
think we
Lake
do,
Powell
yes.
guys. Maybe they'll resurrect the
70-foot
idea.
tower with a wakeboard part. Hey, surfing now. It's probably surfing.
Surfing.
Yeah. Wakeboarding, I think,
Those
might be.
guys are
no
big.
one wakeboards anymore, right?
I don't think so.
It's too painful.
Yeah, I was just gonna say those guys are big, wakeboard or surfing enthusiast Lake Powell guys. So maybe they'll resurrect that idea of doing the.
I'd like to
park.
see that happen. And while I was thinking about that, I thought about all the congestion that's happening in the north end of Utah County, and how they're now adding a freeway. Right, so to get out to Saratoga and Eagle Mountain, we now have a freeway, or it's under construction now. Supposedly saving the residents of Saratoga and Eagle Mountain 12 minutes per trip. Right, so there was a state legislator who stood, or someone stood and said, "Hey, what are you going to do with the extra 24 minutes?" And it made me think a lot about how what I would do is just like a really deep scroll.
This is going to really hurt our podcast.
A real deep doom scroll for 24 minutes. I wouldn't spend that time with my family or with my kids.
No,
why would you do that?
It's brain rot.
Yeah, it would be more about like how many short form videos could I watch?
Yeah.
Right. But there are other people who would actually benefit from the 24.
Yeah. Or like Netflix.
There was a book written by, I think, is it Thomas Friedman, the economist, called "Thank You for Being Late."
Why is he trying to interject? Like, did you guys read? That was a little bit of a passive aggressive.
That was a flex.
Is this on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
No, but it's that same thing. It's like about saving time.
Yeah.
Like how, and that's when you have time to think. I think you just go brain rot and watch short form videos.
You think that about me?
You just admitted it, actually.
Utah County has been under construction since like 1973.
Okay, yeah, we can go earlier. Yeah,
and it's a little I-15's better-ish now, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's under construction because it's one of the highest growth, if not the highest growth county in Utah, and so it's just incredible amount of massive growth. But man, living out in Saratoga Springs or Eagle Mountain right now, you got to feel for those people that are trying to get back and forth.
There is genuinely only one area in Utah where I can get lost, and it's right there. If I exit that Lehigh exit, if I'm traveling southbound, I have no idea where I am.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And even trying to follow the map.
There's one road that goes to Thanksgiving Point. There's another one that connects to I-15. There's another one that if maybe I went to Thanksgiving Point, but now I'm going to Saratoga.
Timpanogos Highway.
I literally did this last week, and I got on the freeway, off the freeway, on the freeway, off the freeway. Completely lost. I'm almost 50 years old, and I've been in Utah my entire life. There is so much going on there.
Have you ever thought that maybe they want it that way, though? They want you to be confused. They don't want you to come back.
It's happening.
Or they want to trap you like a casino. They'll let you in, but you can't get out.
Feels that way.
I know all about casinos. I'm a blackjack dealer.
The other,
and then you have to buy like an MLM product or something. Like what's
every road
get in the
leads
down line to let you out.
Young Living. You end up at Young Living. You're like,
what happened to Troy? I don't know. Last time I saw him, he was in pest sales.
All Utah County roads lead to MLM.
Yes, they do.
No, you know what? Having said that, if I can touch on the 2100 North, amazing corridor, and what they've done so far is awesome. And I look at that and I'm like, man, that is fertile ground for retail development. You've got this awesome like traffic pattern. You've got like amazing housing density, tons of growth, and now UDOT's going to do this big overpass, like this big byway kind of commuter lane, and unfortunately, I think it's going to kill all those prospective deals because we went through this down at ICSC last week and started looking at how you would access a specific site. And it was like taking more left-hand turns than the Padres bullpen. It was just like so many lefts. I was like, I can't figure this thing out. It's so weird.
Well, we have an example of this with Timpanogos Highway, right?
Exactly.
There's the local traffic, and then there's the
commuter lane.
The commuter lane,
commuter
right?
lane, yeah.
And I mean, the commuter lane has 5 times the traffic of the other.
Yeah.
Just most people.
And once you're on it, you can't get off it.
No.
And that's exactly what's going to happen with that 2100. But it's a shame because how do you strike that balance, right? Of like protecting the commuter and congestion, all that kind of stuff. But then the city intervening, saying, hold on, we need these amenities. We need these we need these restaurants. We need the services, the daily needs. That stuff needs to be accomplished. But man, if you can't get to them, I mean, that's a terrible thing for the retailer.
Yeah, and they're just trying to get ahead of the massive growth that everyone in Utah is trying to get ahead of the massive growth that's happening, right?
Yeah.
Utah County being a great example of that. Washington County is another incredible example. Davis County, like everywhere in Utah is essentially just growing like crazy. And it's anecdotal, but just feel like every time I get in my car to go somewhere, if it's 11 o'clock in the morning or it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or it's 8 o'clock at night, it's just traffic.
Yeah. But we don't realize how good we have it, right? I mean, we've got UDOT's getting ahead of this growth.
Totally.
We have room for this additional infrastructure.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to other parts of the United States where, I mean, traffic is just it's part of life.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, significant traffic at all hours of the day is part of life.
Yeah, 2 points on that. Yeah, I mean, UDOT has done a wonderful job. Mountain View Corridor, the fact that they procured all the land and that they can grow inward rather than condemning outward and like tearing down houses and stuff. Mm-hmm. So for the future growth, we have national tenants that come in town and they're like, man, this is genius. So this is 2 lanes going in both directions now. Yeah. Eventually it's going to be 6 lanes and they don't have to procure any more land. So the foresight in their planning and development is really, really smart.
They learned their lesson with Bangor.
For sure. And they, they've remedied Bangor to a large extent. But the other thing is, when you were saying that, it's like, I've said this before, we live in a big city now.
Totally.
We just do. I mean, our population's huge.
Yeah, because the pop of Wasatch Front is what, 3.5 million, are we saying?
Yeah.
Plus,
So on I-15, that's why. I mean, it's just congestion everywhere.
Yeah, Canyon's congested, downtown congested, Utah County crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
We are seeing the byproduct of all of the great attributes that Utah has, and it's been a secret for a long time, and it ain't a secret anymore. It's out.
True. And we do have geographical constraints, right? We all live in a valley, right? You got mountains on one side, a lake on the other. Like, we just have these geographic constraints.
There's a huge hole up in the mountain there. Think how many apartments we could build in that hole. They're not even mining right now. It could just be hundreds of thousands of apartments.
Some developer will think of that. But it is crazy, and that's why things are so expensive here too. I mean, our housing has just gone crazy because we have been discovered. We're on the map. People want to live here. Well, where do you go? We have geographic scarcity, right? Like we're running out of land, and so we've seen these land values and property values just go through the roof. I mean, our houses are as expensive as they are in California. It's crazy.
Yeah, minus the beach.
And MJ pushed off. That's I just wanted to go back to the real topic here, which is the B Russ MJ one-on-one, but he pushed off.
He pushed off.
He did push off.
And by the way, didn't we just discover that the Delta Center's Wi-Fi password is Jordan pushed off?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Is
so
that
you
real?
Go to the Delta Center, get on the Wi-Fi. The password is Jordan pushed off.
That's
because
awesome.
it's just so true.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's a true story. I watched it live. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was
tore
terrible.
everybody's heart out. Anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Or we can talk about it now if you want.
Yeah. Jake, what do you got?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, we talked about a lot of things. We were going to chop it up, and whenever I'm sitting with like my son and his buddies, they want to chop up everything, right? So one of the things that just, we're sitting here with these hockey jerseys behind us, and it just kind of made me think about the Mammoth, and again, the growth of our state, and the fact that we've got an NHL team here that's got all this excitement around it. The Jazz are allegedly done rebuilding, and now we're going to be competitive again, and we're talking about getting Major League Baseball here.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It's looking stronger and stronger.
Yeah, which looks really cool. What do they call that thing? The Winter Classic? The Winter Classic is coming to Rice Eccles.
That's going to be killer. Yeah.
That's amazing. They only do one game a year.
Tickets are available now for that.
I bought like 6 or 7 tickets.
Of course, it was 6 or 7.
Good point.
6, 7.
Why would you buy 7?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
I got excited and I bought it, and then I realized the stadium's like 60,000 people, so I probably bought too soon. But
And how are the prices? Were they like reasonable?
It didn't feel good.
World Cup pricing, or
I don't know what World Cup pricing is, but I think I paid like $400 per ticket or something.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. It's going to be awesome.
Chad doesn't like to sit if he can't touch the boards. I don't know if you know that about Chad.
Well, he's a rich guy.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Those are
nothing
good
but the best.
Seats. Those are
no,
good
they're
seats.
not. I think they're like. The funny thing is I've never been to a Winter Classic, so I don't know. But if you look at the map of it, I mean, you have this tiny little rink.
It's crazy.
And then the first row of seating, at least the way I understand it, doesn't start for like
because
50 yards.
Because you're like below the rink if you're sitting on the field.
I wondered, are they going to put like seats up to the glass?
The same thing.
Like floor seats, so to speak?
I don't think you can because you have to have it staggered. So
it's not a good view.
I know. It's weird. I don't know how they'll pull that off. Yeah. Or did they kind of push it to like one, side, like the south side or something like that? Yeah.
I mean, I'm a vibe fan for this thing. I'm just here for the experience.
I'm not here to critique. Dude.
I think it's
love
so
it.
Awesome.
But isn't it December 31st, like
Yeah,
New Year's Eve.
So it'll be 72 degrees. Yeah, it'll be perfect.
Yeah, we won't have any
in the middle of
snow.
winter. No snow. 70. People will be wearing tank tops, and whatever.
Yeah,
shorts.
that's going to be amazing though. But
That's cool.
very
excited.
cool. So I'm excited about that.
Sorry, Abby, what were you saying though?
No, just that. I was like, you asked me what's on my mind, and I'm like, our Mammoth dude. I'm so stoked for those guys. It's awesome.
Have you guys driven by the Delta Center in the last couple days or weeks? When the lights turned off after that last Golden Knights loss, the bulldozers and the construction crews arrived. I mean, they've been going crazy there.
I know, they're so fast on
It
that.
is unbelievable how quickly and efficiently they get stuff done.
And what are they
at that
doing right
building.
now?
So you've got a VIP parking on the southwest corner.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, they may be doing something to the facade as well. I'm not sure.
What? That facade's beautiful from
It is a beautiful
1991
facade. Yeah.
or 90 or whatever it was.
But surprisingly, it still does look pretty good.
Yeah, for
I mean, I
like
like
a post-industrial Soviet era.
Yeah, like a German. Yeah, exactly.
It's peptides, bro.
Peptides.
Wolverine peptide.
Yeah.
I had a guy the other day. I was somehow
The
first of all,
Wolverine stack.
anyone
I think
that's
they call
doing
it.
peptides
Can we
has to
talk
tell you.
peptides?
They have to tell you about peptides.
Peter
It's-
Black, man, it's nonstop. He
the
sent me
guy's
probably 50
he's the
like
goat.
posts the other day.
He's the goat. But like somebody was telling me about a Wolverine stack or Warlock,
Yes.
and the whole time I was looking at the person and I was thinking, what in the world are you talking about, dude?
I know.
A
It's
Wolverine
wild.
stack? The guy's like 140 pounds, 5'7". What the heck is a Wolverine stack?
You know what's weird though? So I heard this the other day that they're in the medical community. They think that the first person to live to be 150 years old is alive today.
I don't
want
to live to 150.
I don't either because I think that quality of
can't-
life is going to be terrible
I
after
can't afford to
80.
live to be 100.
No, same here. Same here. What are you going to be slinging deals
Yeah.
until you're like 100?
Can't we just be happy dying at
Yes.
82
I'm into that.
with heart congestion and diabetes?
Yeah, it's true. But you were touching on the Delta Center and this like renovation and what Ryan Smith is doing, and I mean that guy has been such an ambassador for Utah. It's awesome. I love what he's doing. But I would love to see him kind of fold in the Gateway, as part of this kind of revamp of the sports, whatever. What does he call that? What is he branding that thing? But it's basically like a sports
So the entertainment corridor.
entertainment corridor.
Yeah,
There you
connects
go.
City Creek to the Delta Center.
So everything east of the Delta Center, but we already have this like amazing facility west.
Yeah.
In the Gateway, right?
I do the leasing on it. It is over 1 million square feet, and it's next door to the Delta Center. It feels as though, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but it feels as though the Delta Center is almost posturing itself to face northeast, and kind of forgetting about the fact that we've got this vibrant retail center adjacent to it to the west. So I'm with you. I'd love to see some type of connectivity. I mean, they're basically creating a walkway between the West Quarters and the Delta Center. I mean, that's going to be connected. You've got that Japantown area. You've got what the north portion of the Delta or the Salt Palace. It'll all be redesigned. And I mean, we've all seen the renderings, but no one's talking about the Gateway. I'd love to see the Gateway be part of that conversation.
I mean, first of all, you guys took the Gateway, which when Vestar bought it was, for all intent and purpose, a distressed asset. It was in a
Yeah, it was.
tough place. And you guys took it, I don't know what the vacancy was, but you literally leased it all the way up to near 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like if you haven't been to the Gateway recently, like you should go check it out because it'll blow your mind. It's totally different than what your perception of it might be. And I think it kind of found its place in the world. And I think if they're doing this incredible, entertainment area, that's going to be high price. It's going to have a ton of cool tenants, cool vibe. But Gateway also has its own thing where it could be, or it is, the low-cost provider in the trade area.
Yeah.
But still has like a super cool vibe.
Yeah.
Because it is developing its own identity again, which I think is really, really cool. Because it went through a period of time where it was like, what is its identity?
Yeah, it's lost. It
But
wandered in the
I have
wilderness.
such nostalgic feelings towards Gateway. I love it. I mean, my first, real estate job in commercial real estate was with Lovesac. And that's where they opened their very first store right before the Olympics in 2002.
Right.
On the bridge.
Right at the bridge.
On the bridge.
Right at the bridge of Gateway.
That.
So
What was that
Sean
guy's
Nelson
name?
talks
Yeah.
about that, and it's phenomenal, man. He's got like the coolest kind of, narrative that goes along with the Gateway and how he landed that deal and grew that retail concept. And coincidentally, I'm now back representing Lovesac. So here I am.
So that's
We've
why
got
you,
a-
that's
20
why you
years
agreed
later.
to do the podcast. That was the plug.
We have a
I
space
love Lovesac.
over the bridge that we could make available.
We should talk
for you.
about it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Wow.
do it.
Talk about full circle.
Wow.
Exactly.
The infinity loop.
Hey, there's no dry pipeline in this building,
Yeah.
brother.
There's some big-
Lovesac is like, they sell furniture now, right? It used to just be the sack thing. And then that kind of
Man, it's very progressive. In fact, if you've been into one of their stores, their stuff is really cool. It's like revolutionary.
Okay, let's not make this into an advertisement.
Well, I know I shouldn't, but it is cool. It's very revolutionary. Not cheap. It's not inexpensive. It's like it's expensive stuff, but it's great. It's really cool, and they are morphing into other kind of soft goods that they're going to roll out in the next little while and stuff. So it should be pretty cool.
They're going to sell essential oils also.
Yeah, I think they're
It's a
doing a
side
collab.
business.
They're doing a collab with one of the MLMs down in Utah County. I
love it.
I think
It's
that's
a
in the
good
pipeline.
callback.
Pretty sure.
And
So-
I got to get to Texas Roadhouse,
Oh,
guys.
he's got to go. This guy's
I'm
got to
so
go.
hungry.
Let's
He's
wrap
got that
this thing
reservation
up.
ready. Yeah, let's
This
do
has been a ton of fun, and we will figure out what the name of this pod is, or we will put this in the dustbin of history, and we will act like this never happened. But it's been a lot of fun, and I think we'll do it again.
it. Yeah, you guys are legends. Thanks for having me on. This is fun.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Until the next. See you,
Let's
everybody.
do it.
All right. I think it's pretty much chopping it up.